Please enter your access code followed by the pound or hash sign. Access code or phone number you have dialed is incorrect.
It's incorrect.
Please check your credentials and try again.
7,
You
7,
entered
6.
761. Access code or phone number you have dialed is incorrect.
Incorrect.
Please check your credentials and try again. You entered 7716. Please re-enter your access code followed by the pound or hash sign. Please re-enter your access code followed by the pound or hash sign. Please announce yourself.
Barb Leibowitz.
Hello? Hello? You got the right code. It's a long one. It's not this. What? I don't want to.
Is anybody on yet?
I'm here. Andrea can't get in.
All right. Let me check with Aaron. I'm going to put you on mute.
She just got kicked out because of password.
Who did?
Andrea. You got to hit pound afterwards. Did you do that?
Yes,
Our
we did.
PhD is having technical issues. Weird. Keep trying again. I just requested a demo for the basic group. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So, Barb Leibowitz is going to spearhead that task. Yeah, we'll get a demo.
Yeah. Andrea?
This is Andrea. It's Andrea.
All right, we'll get started in 4 minutes. Hang tight, guys.
Take your time.
What'd you say?
Who's watching the draft tonight? Who the faggot-ass Bears are going to get? Quarterback?
Yeah.
Well, you guys don't have a
Dude,
pick,
I'm
do you?
going to get that dude from Ohio State.
I don't think you guys have a pick, do you?
I'm not a big Bears fan anymore, dude.
Your Broncos now?
Way more of a problem. Yeah.
Broncos are going to end up getting that Trey Lance from North Dakota State.
Yeah. Keep talking about the Bears, and we'll see how much of a Bears fan I am. You'll get me to a point.
Yeah. Last time me and Chavez punched each other's face was about Vikings Bears. That's old school business. You're done. You're behind on your collections, you get punched in the face.
Yeah. Rhea, you on?
You're not sorting your boxes correctly, you get punched in the face.
Are you guys?
Fill rate's not at 80%.
Yes, we are.
Punched in the face.
Who up there?
It's everybody except for Christian. Devin.
Did Devin accept the position? Or are you waiting for Quentin?
What'd you say?
Did Devin accept the position, or are you waiting for Quentin?
No, I don't know what's going on. He's supposed to be at noon, so. Excuse me. Rhea, are you on?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I'm going to get this started here in a minute. You guys good where you're at? Yeah, go ahead. We're going to get started in a minute, guys. Everyone, guys. Hey, what's up, bro? Right on. Devin's in the house. Devin, Gage, Devin.
Because it was raining yesterday. Yeah, I was going to. It was real good. Handful, I get it.
Why don't you post up over there? All right, we're just waiting for Trammell to get done using the facilities.
Was Chris on the email of the invitation for the meeting?
No, he said he couldn't come in today. I had a conversation with him yesterday about identifying this role. Top line. Whoever's rocking out in the back. Aaron.
Guys, we like to open up every song with every meeting with Led Zeppelin immigrant song. Stand up, shake your arms out, be with us, be present. I'm sure you all know Mr. Phil Chavez. Here we go.
All right, you ready? You ready?
Yeah, I have a song coming back at some point.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and get this kicked off here. On the phone, we have Aaron, Andrea, and Rhea. In the office here, myself, Gage, Trammell, Daniel, Devin, Tyler. Did I get everybody? I think I got everybody. We are going to have a hard stop at noon. I'm a big believer in starting on time and ending on time. And we're going to talk about that as well as we go through here. We are going to bring up some sensitive topics today, but overall, I want this meeting to be very positive, guys. There's a lot of positive success. I've been out here now. I think this is my 4th week out here. We've got a lot of commercial business in the works now, which was never present here before. And certainly with the hailstorm, everybody's really jumped on that and started doing a really nice job at capturing new residential business. Today's agenda, I'm going to have Aaron talk a little bit about process. Andrea and Rhea talk a little bit about collections. I've asked Gage to talk about credit holds and liens and some of the nightmares that come along with that. I'm going to talk about communications, iPads, things of that nature. I've asked Trammell to jump in on the meeting today and talk about his pipeline. We're certainly going to talk about the long-term vision of the company, and then some proposed changes that I'd like the group to weigh in on. And that's probably where we'll spend most of the time. I've got an alarm set for 12:50 so that we know that we have 10 minutes left. And again, we will have a hard stop. Okay. So
you get a bell if somebody gets long-winded. You hit the bell.
Yeah, exactly. So with the long-winded part of this discussion, Aaron, can you, I want you to go through.
However do you mean? Yeah.
I'm kidding. What is the process? And we'll talk specifically about residential today.
Right on. Well, just a couple of things to think about is, every year is different. Every year, and we built the company as an old damaged company, meaning missing 3 tabs and snipering 3 tabs, tarpon roof, ceiling stains, all that stuff. That's who we are every year. And then every 2, 3, 4, whatever years, we get the big ripper, we get the big giant hail rocks, and we flip the switch and we go from, 100, 200 roofs a year to 1,200 roofs a year. And that's Edwardsville. That's what we've done here a couple different times here in St. Louis. We had a chance last year in Nashville. We kind of missed it with the COVID, but you know what? Live and learn. Last year was a tough year. So after speaking all that stuff, the whole point of how we have our system in Freud is based on how, for 8+ years we managed really profitable jobs. So in a perfect world, and just understand that every claim is different, every customer is different, they're dynamic, underpaid, whatever may happen. Every claim is different, but in a general sense, this is how we built the company and this is how jobs should run. So basically, we understand that every claim is probably going to be underpaid, okay? So go to the adjuster appointment, don't go to the adjuster appointment. I kind of don't give a rat's ass. But once you get the scope paperwork and once they get the check signed off by the mortgage company, we do our what? We do our color meeting, right? So we do the color meeting, we dot the I's, we cross the T's, we figure out what we're going to do, pick out colors, all that good stuff. But then that's when you also will go through with the customer and or just by yourself and figure out what's missed on the claim, what needs to be supplemented, if anything. So this is when I say on this part of the claim, this is when you push pause and get your financial reconcile done. So this means, write your Exactimates, and now with what Chavez has brought, we've got the Exacta bid, we got Company Cam. We're even more powerful than we were, a year ago with negotiating and supplementing. We can farm it out so we can sell more. But the point is that we supplement it. We get everything approved. We get the revised SFD. We get the revised scope of damage. Many times when you have a revision in a SFD for more money, a bunch of shit's approved, then you have to do I'll do another color meeting and write another change order. If you don't want to physically go there with the customer and do the change order, you can do it on Freud. Freud will do the math so you can't fuck it up. You email the change order with the new numbers on it, the new financials, out of pocket, etc. And then you put it all in the system. Then you request the recoverable back-end depreciation. So the way we built this is you should never order a roof or commence any construction until the back-end money is coming in, the recoverable depreciation. So get everything supplemented, get the new paperwork, get everything in hand, then then get the money coming in, then start working. Most roofing companies nationwide, they've got three-month lead time a lot of times. Now, we know there'll be case by case where we got emergencies and shit happens, but the whole point is, if you look around, Nashville's kicking ass, but we're in a little cash crunch because we're so fucking behind on collections. And why are we behind on collections? Number one, it's 100% my fault. As CEO of the company, I allowed it. I allowed things to drag out. But really, the fundamental reason why we're behind in collections is because we did a shitload of work either before we had the supplements approved, before we had enough ACV money, or kind of a combination of both. We did work more than the first check paid, right? And that's getting what I call, we get cash behind, and then our cash stance kind of sucks, and then all of a sudden it's we're $100,000 to $250,000 behind in collections. And it's not that our customers don't pay it; it's just everything's behind. So the whole point is, every year we should be getting the financial piece is equally as important as the fucking work we do. A smart company gets their money coming as they commence construction. And then this kind of gets into some nuance of sales and how to control the customer and all that shit that we're working on teaching. Now, On a big hail year, that kind of goes out the window. A big hail year, we're going to bang out as many fucking roofs as we can because we know the scope is going to be pretty close to good. So we're going to order a shitload of roofs, do 3, 7, 10 roofs a fucking day on a big hail year. And then we're going to push pause, do all the financial reconciles, same thing. Get everything supplemented, get everything negotiated, get everything agreed upon. And then you do a whole wave of siding, do a whole wave of pressure wash and restain decks. You do a whole wave of, the other work. It's a lot more subs. But the whole point is, both situations, we're having the financials, we're having the money coming before or during the construction piece. Now, a lot of roofers and contractors hate insurance claims because they don't know how it works and because the cash can be a motherfucker if you don't know how to handle it. And we're living that right now in Nashville because we kind of spent too much before, we collected too much without new revenue streams coming in right away at the beginning of the year. Not anybody's fault there. 100% my fault as CEO. I get it. I fucked up. We're moving on. Does that make sense, everybody? Chavez, does that flow the right way?
Yes, absolutely. And commercial, it's the exact same way. There's nothing different. The dollars are a little bit bigger. The process can take a little bit longer, but essentially it's the exact same process. I'm assuming we have that process documented somewhere. Is that correct?
So Andrea can jump in because how Freud was designed is based on what I just said. Andrea, jump in.
Yeah, it's exactly what you see in Freud. You can see it just individually, or there's a place in Freud where you go to step-by-step. You can do lead step-by-step, job step-by-step, roof step-by-step. All of them give the sequence of these statuses because everything's a status. You do something, you go to the next status. Do something, go to the next status. And it's all by design based on what Aaron just said. So it says the words. It says, even says when you do the intake, then the status says something like, into production pending supplement and permit. So it even says pending supplement. It's always said that right there. Wait till you get your supplement and everything done. Then you order your roof and move forward. So, yes, it's all spelled out in Freud.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions about that process?
Let me jump in here and let me jump in here and say one thing too. It's super important when we're selling as project managers. I'm sure everybody's heard my dog tail theory, where you must be the dog, don't be the tail, or you'll lose money. But when you're doing your detailed color meeting, you're teaching or explaining to the customers, this is how we go to market. This is how we manage our claims. This is what I do. This is where you come in. So there isn't a big complaint when it's a month and we don't have the roof ordered because, State Farm's dicking around. They understand it. So this is a super important piece of the color meeting. I'm done with that piece.
We have to take control of this process, and we can all learn from one another on how that process looks and how to be in control of that process. Andrew, did you want to add anything onto that?
In terms of process and the flow, no, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, if anybody ever has any questions, I can show you where this is all spelled out in Freud.
Okay. We're going to move into collections. Kind of the next segue to this. I know I've asked Rhea to put together some consolidate some numbers. Did you want to kick anything off though first, Andrea, regarding collections?
Just the emails that have been going around. So there's, we have what we refer to as substantial work done. So, and that basically means the roof is done for sure. And then we kind of keep tabs. But so each project manager has been receiving a list of those jobs. Those jobs have numbers of balance due. And at some point, either Monday or at the end of last week, I even did an addition with the total of those particular jobs, the ones that are for sure, really, behind. So all the numbers are in email if anybody needs to refer back to that. Plus, of course, you can see it on your screens. But
okay. Anything else to add to that, Andrea?
No, to keep clicking through. Just move forward. So you don't want me to be the long-winded person.
Hey, Rhea.
Yes.
All right. Can you go through Cramel's up to date on his collections right now? Where's Daniel at? The total numbers owed, or what is the total now owed out of Nashville?
The total for delinquent is right about $100,000.
Okay.
So it's about if you want me to say the numbers out loud, it's about I think it's more about 25 Daniel, about 50 Tyler, and about 20 or more Quentin.
Is that what you're showing, Rhea?
And that's delinquent. That stuff that's definitely old should be wrapped up by now. Some of it just sitting on the table.
Yes. And Andrea and I had talked about this morning. So kind of what I had told you last night. In Freud, you can pull up substantial work done. I can see how much is owed and everything. Andrea sent out a couple of emails detailing everybody's work, what they had for collections. So everybody should have that information in their emails.
Okay.
Andrea kind of detailed all of that earlier this week.
All right, and we're not finger pointing right now, but Daniel has how much right now? What was that number?
25,000.
All right, and how much of that, Rhea, did you submit for the depreciation this week?
All of them. Yeah, it was.
It should be all of them, unless there were any, Rhea, that you didn't have the right information. But so I did that when I sat with Daniel Monday. We went through every single job, and I made sure if there wasn't a depreciation release, I clicked the buttons, and then Rhea graciously did that work for me.
Yeah, so all but 2 of them have been filed. 2 of them I'm still waiting on information from Daniel on. The rest have been filed. $10,071.64 has been filed, and of those, I've received messages from 3 of the claims adjusters that the checks have been released.
Can I jump in here? I want to say something real quick about this. So, again, there's no finger pointing at any piece of this. I want to talk about design. When we're busy, it's designed to have what are called project manager assistants to do basically what Andrea did many, many times a week with every project manager that's selling balls, right? So they're doing what we call the Freud Blitz, which is basically an update. So by design, that's what is supposed to be done. And that's a piece that was missed, not blaming anybody, just saying this is by design how we do it with our staff. And I know Rhea's going to be taking over a bunch of the blitzes moving forward here.
Okay. Then if we could move Rhea over to Tyler, what have you done this week or the prior week related to claims or related to collections for Tyler?
I don't have anything on my end that I've done on Tyler. There's $33,449.54 is what's showing as substantial work done. But he didn't have anything that needed to be filed, so I haven't done that. And all of his leads were up to date. So.
Okay. And Quentin, are you on the phone by chance? Yeah, I didn't. Quentin could make it. Quentin's got some outstanding balances too, but we'll deal with that separately. The point is this: right now we're not busy, and we're getting busy. We still have people in place to start and keep helping you guys along. You got to communicate. I mean, when Andrew or Rhea is asking a question to get money collected, answer it. I mean, be responsive, guys. Anything? Do you want to add anything on collections, Rhea?
I don't have anything, no.
Okay. So we've got substantial work completed, which is roof, and then we've got all of these other trades. Okay. We've had some crews that have done some shit work. I was at a job with Gage, this Timmy guy. It was the siding, the gutters. It was crap. What I would like to propose to everybody in this room.
Anybody know who did that work, by the way? I'm curious. I saw that too.
Yeah.
Not to interrupt you. I apologize.
Quentin sent it to me. I think his name was Eugene. Hold on.
No, it starts with
It's Eduardo.
Yeah, Eduardo.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a conversation with Eduardo before the end of the day.
No, don't worry about it. Just don't use Eduardo.
Yeah,
Hey.
I want our money back.
Chavez, let me say one thing too.
Yeah.
There's another check and balance built into Freud, built into the system, where the invoices don't get approved unless the project manager looks at the work and approves it. Right. So there's no fucking way we should have approved that, but it just slipped through. But there is a system for that not happening.
There seems to be a discrepancy in what you're saying. What are you saying? Sometimes they're getting paid though before.
So when they invoice for payment, the project manager has to hit a button that says I approve for that invoice to be paid from the hammer swinger, from the subcontractor.
Right.
So there's a timeline built. So we should have went out there and said, hey, we can't pay this fucking guy because this looks like dog shit. I'm just saying there's a filter for this. There's a procedure for this, dude, is what I'm saying.
All right. So is that the case now?
No.
What
that's probably Quentin that pushed the job along. Yeah, I think that was when they were getting paid right off the bat. Like at one point, they were getting paid the day that they were.
Okay. All right. So, but that is the case today.
That stops. That should never been done. I would have that shouldn't have.
Can I add something there? And not that I want to be the one saying it, but if whoever wants to say it, it's the same scenario of dog tail. So yes, you need to be the dog with your clients. We need to be more of a dog with the subs. So yeah, a lot of times Clinton was paying them on the spot, so our system wasn't being utilized the way it's designed to be utilized.
Well, the labor market was really fucked with 2020, but we're moving and growing and moving and shaking.
Okay, so no carrier or no sub gets paid without that button being clicked, and that button gets clicked when the PM goes out and inspects the job, walks the job with the customer, and they say, yes, it looks good.
By design, I wouldn't do it with the customer. For sure, don't do it with the customer. They'll start hawk-eyeing. But just go out there and make sure this doesn't happen, For sure. It should happen.
Okay.
It's designed that way. So basically, like when you log into Freud, if you have invoices approved, that's the first thing that comes up on your screen. Hey, do you want to approve these? That's the first thing that shows up there. The second thing that shows up is collected, how much is due as a company.
Okay. So everybody agrees that going forward, that's the process. We need to stick with the way Freud was designed because it eliminates all of these issues.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of input. In my conversation with Andrea this morning, we had spoken of, we usually get bids from subcontractors that expect about 40-50% up front. I was wondering if we could use those bids as tentative invoices that could be approved if we need to in Freud, and how to check that would, already be in the ledger a week prior to that.
I'll answer that. We have to become better at not having to pay up front. There's 20 workers out there. We're a big hitter. We don't pay up front. We got to stop doing that. We got to find different subs. Or if we're doing and Chavez, listen to this, or if we're doing a trade that we don't know very well, and that's just their industry practice is get paid up front, don't do that trade. Stick with what we know, roofing, gutters, exteriors.
Well, there's always a case-by-case basis, but
if it makes sense, it'll get approved. If it makes sense, you better believe it approved. All these rules are meant to be broken, but we do have a standard that we got to get back to.
Exactly. All right, so what I'm proposing to everybody that has other trades that are out there, and I don't know if this is something that we can pull from Freud, or if this is just sitting down and going through, each PM going through, but I want a list of all gutters that need to be done, a list of all HVAC, every single trade, so we can contact, one siding person and say, hey, we've got all of this remaining work done. We would like you to do it, and we'd like you to do it at this rate. Does everybody understand where I'm going with this? We have to get these jobs closed out. Is there any
Yes,
reason
that is in Freud, Bill. So Maria was talking to me about that this morning. That is in Freud, but it's also based on the assumption that you have done your job plan, and as long as you do the starting OT, we can click one button where you list OTs by trade, and that will show you exactly what you want to see.
Phil,
Okay.
do you understand the job plan? That might be a good thing to just take 30 seconds, Andrew, to explain the job plan.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I got static. You want me to talk about job plan and OTs?
After you do your intake, it'll show the job.
Yeah, so by design, you do intake, and when you do your intake, you, of course, plug in the numbers and everything, and then you do your job plan. So you have a starting point. Now, that can change based on supplements. So you have a starting point of course, we're doing the roof. We're also going to do gutters and window screens, and you flag that on your job plan. That gives you kind of a to-do list, and it gives us a reference for those of us trying to help and do things. Gives us a reference as to what work we're expecting to do. What you can also do, and what has been recommended, is that you at least do a starting OT. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to have the right sub. It's just a very skeleton starting point.
OT means
so
work
if we
order.
have that OT there that we're going to do gutters, then it's going to show up on that list I'm talking about of OTs by trade.
Okay.
So that should be part of the intake, is that you do your job plan and you can do your starting OTs, and you can always change that. You can change your job plan, plus you can update that OT as long as you haven't sent it off yet and flagged it as ordered, or updated the status as ordered. Up until the point where you say labor ordered, you can edit and update your OT, and you can always update your job plan.
Didn't we do that one where you can just do an OT for a PO number?
What do you mean?
For
Say that
Nelly, we an OT for that PO number. You can just do that too, right?
Oh, with the OTs, you can list by PM, you can list by sub, or you can list by trade. So you can look at it three different ways. You can look at just your OTs that you have. You can look to see which sub has already been assigned to OTs, or you can look at here's all the gutters, here's all the siding, here's all the window screens.
Great. I like it. If somebody can get me that report, that would be fantastic, and I'll start coordinating that.
We probably need to run through, like with this whole Freud Blitz updating, we probably need to run through each job and make sure they're up to date first, because I guarantee you that today it's not accurate.
Okay, so you two are the.
You can look at it today, but I wouldn't count on it being accurate today.
And that's what the blitzes are for.
Daniel and Tyler are the two that have in the room right now that have the highest level of collections right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's my understanding that Andrew, you sat with each one of them and went through each one of their customers and did Freud updates. Are you guys confident?
With Daniel, I only sat with Daniel.
Okay.
I mean, Tyler has been replying to the emails occasionally, but with Daniel, I did go through everything on Monday.
Okay.
So it should be pretty up to date, but I didn't look to see if those OTs were there or not. But he's up to date in terms of what Freud says, but we didn't, particularly hit on making sure the job plan and OTs were right.
Okay. All right. So we're all going to start working on this. We're going to get collections taken care of. Earlier this month, I sent that email about collections. We had till the end of the month to finish collections. We are approaching the end of the month, and we still have essentially the same amount of money owed to us. I'm going to extend this for 2 more weeks. If we're not done at that, we have to do something. We have to collect this money. Does everyone understand the impact of not collecting money? Okay, you can't order a commercial roof or any roof. What else is the impact of it? You lose your discounts for paying your bills on time. What else happens? You don't have any money. Yeah, your credit gets shot. What else happens? Bad reviews. Yep. What else? Lose potential customers. Can't buy leads.
ultimately, guys, it could spell the end of everything. It could
It's
shut
over.
you down. It could shut you down. I've
Go
worked
ahead.
in roofing companies where this has been a problem before, where collections, got out of hand. Thankfully, you guys aren't there yet. But what happened was we ended up getting credit lines from all our suppliers shut down, liens placed on all outstanding debt. So they didn't come after us. They came after our homeowners and our clients that we were using. I woke up one day with 10 voicemails of, I paid you guys to finish this project out. Why am I getting this letter in the mail that there's a lien on my house? Everybody checked your reviews, and within 6 months, that company was out of business. It was 100% over for everybody there. They went from a $15 million company to nothing in 6 months.
It's interesting you say that. That's why we started Cardinal. That's exactly why we started Cardinal. I was working for a guy, and Fallon did the same thing. But go ahead. That's good stuff.
Yeah, so it's the utmost important thing. It should keep you up at night if you have outstanding money to collect it. I know this is a sales organization. You guys are absolutely money at that. Starting new deals, generating business. You guys all seem like killers out there. But it's this back end stuff that can really, it'll snake bite you. It'll come quick and swift once that leash has been extended as far as your suppliers are willing to let it go. They're going to yank on it hard.
So, I was at the same company. I was a general manager. I walked in. I had 72 phone calls by noon. 55 liens were placed. First wave. The second wave was another 60 or so. The third wave was another 50 or so. We had 4 different suppliers. We had over 200 liens put out in about 30 days.
So they're on work completed.
Work completed. They paid the full, and now they're pissed. It was devastating. It was out of control. I learned a ton from the experience. However, it was a goddamn nightmare. And with that being said, most of us were at Mid-Atlantic yesterday for educational training through GenFly. Okay, when everybody left, that last conversation I had was with Johnny Mac. Yeah. Johnny Mac. Okay. He's an impressive guy. Guess what the last thing he said? Hey man, I need you to pay your fucking bill. Okay? So you know how awkward it is to start trying to build a relationship with a new manufacturer, to start plugging in with their commercial division, for them to offer that training for us, carve out time of the day, and the last thing he says is, hey man, you need to pay this fucking bill. Yes, he said fuck it. Okay? It's incredibly difficult to have these conversations, tap into the resources, to have them afford the things that we need to build this commercial division, and to have that conversation on the tail end. To say I was embarrassed is an understatement. Okay? Bottom line, and I'm going to move on from collections. We have till what's the middle of May? May 15th. Is that an actual day, or is that a weekend? I want them done.
Well, let me chime in here too. In 12 years as a business, we've never been put in a credit hold. We've never once been put in a credit hold. And we'll end up getting this thing paid one way or the other. But
yeah. Everybody understands the importance of collections. Okay. So now I've been embarrassed. Growth is being impacted. We don't want to fuck our customers over with liens. Everybody understands the impact of this. Collect the goddamn money. Let's move on.
May 15th is a Saturday.
All right, so pick a day. What's after the May?
I mean, the 14th is that Friday, so.
What's the Monday? That's 16th, 17th? It's already out.
17th.
All right, 17th. Growth. This is growth now. You have to understand. And we're gonna understand why we're all working as a team. It's just not one location. And we'll get to that. Can you mark that down, Rhea?
Yes, I have it. Yes, I have it.
All right, so we're going to extend it to the 17th. I want to move on to the next topic that I am absolutely sick of talking about, and that's trucks. Change your oil. It's pretty much all you have to do. If there's a weird noise in the truck, we've got a guy here named Andrew. You even checked his rates. He said he was doing us pretty right.
He's all right. Either way, for now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't talk to him the day before yesterday.
Yeah.
He said the wheels were about ready to come off on that red truck.
Okay. I don't want to get into the specifics of each specific truck right now. Start taking care of your trucks. I can promise you this. Not a lot of roofing companies pass out trucks. It's a luxury. It's a benefit. There's a company as a whole, as a branding mechanism. Take care of your trucks. I don't know how to say that. It's I don't even know. There's 007, 69, fucking 10 different trucks with all these different numbers. Everybody seems to know what they are, but nobody's taking care of their trucks well enough.
We'll say this. Let me say this too. We have, in 12 years of business, we've blown and replaced 2 engines. And I don't buy new trucks. I buy old pieces of shit and fix them up. We've blown 4 engines in less than 6 months. 3 in Nashville, maybe before, and then we just blew 1 in Jacksonville. So it's a goofy trend that we got to break. And you can say, well, buy nicer trucks. Don't beat the shit out of them and give a shit about them is the point.
Right. Yeah.
Also, can I just say something?
Yes.
Andrea has a spreadsheet set up for it has everybody's VIN number, their truck. That needs to be updated. So if somebody's taking their truck in, if there's a spot for them to put oil change in, any extra information, if their VIN number's not on there. So everybody should check to make sure that
actually, if I can interrupt you, we've had here at Cardinal, we've had somebody in charge of that, so that's not something that's available to everybody to see. It's been, we've had somebody who's kind of been the truck guy, but more importantly, everything is built in, guess what? Guess where? Freud. You don't have the code or the button to click on yet, but all the underlying work is there, so this will be something that you will be able to do in Freud. So if you're the one driving that truck, you'll be able to go, click a calendar to say, okay, today I got the oil changed. And it'll be able to give us alerts to say, okay, your tag's about to expire, or you're due for emissions, or, you're due for an oil change. So the groundwork is there. I just need a day or 2 to get it all running. But, the spreadsheet, just so you're all aware. So we've had this spreadsheet for a long time, but nobody has had access to it unless somebody was kind of in charge of the trucks. And I don't think we really didn't have that in Nashville at all. We had it here, so we're gonna fix that so that it's available, so that everybody can contribute.
And if everybody's just communicating about it, then it's easier to be reminded about it. Then I can look at it. Andrea can look at it. She's like, Rhea, make sure everybody's getting their shit done. I can go out and be like, hey, y'all need an oil change. It's not that hard. Just communication.
Request a check and pay for it. But it requires planning. That's the thing.
I don't want to go through specific trucks right now. All right. So the next piece is communications, emails, text messages. We've talked about communication. We all need to do a better job communicating. I believe everybody has, all salespeople, project managers have iPads. Everybody should have their emails loaded to their smartphones. I'm assuming you have a smartphone. The way I set up on my phone is I don't get notifications unless I look at it, because I don't want emails in the middle of the night or while I'm with my wife. And if everybody doesn't know Rhea's my wife, I don't know if everybody knew that or not.
Congratulations.
Yeah, she's a lucky woman. Yeah, right.
Did she see your new Rolex yet?
Let me have this meeting, and then the next meeting she's sharing to me. Yeah, thank you. So iPads, everybody's got to have their iPads on them, working, charged, ready to go. Gage has been with me the last day and a half here, specifically with my iPad. I've been freaking out because I can't fully charge. It has to do with my cords and everything else. I stress out about when I don't have access to communications. I resolve the situation. You're all adults. You know how to resolve this. I do also want to mention one thing specifically with me. If you want me to do something and you want it to get done, email me. If you want me somewhere, send me a calendar invite. If you do not know how to do a calendar invite, ask. Okay? Text messaging to me, it's a complete and utter waste of time for me. All it is it's nothing that I can or anyone for that matter can accurately track. The best way to track activities and cover your own ass is through email. Understood?
Yeah, I would second that. I would second that because email, especially if you need me to fix something in Freud or something, I got to have email. Text message is going to get lost.
Yeah, this is a business. We're not communicating with friends at this level or the functions here. This is a business transaction. So we need to improve our communications and we need to deal with our trucks more effectively. So that is all the negative stuff. And when I say negative stuff, that's house cleaning stuff. I want to move on to stuff more positive. Okay? So if somebody pointed out a negative, I apologize, but we had to get through that. Okay. We're all adults, and we're going to get through this. I would like to have asked Trammell to go through his pipeline. The reason I've asked Trammell to go through his pipeline is because he, in my opinion, has embraced the commercial opportunities the most here. With that being said, he's also stepped on the gas significantly with some other folks here on the residential. So I would like to turn it over to Trammell to talk about his pipeline.
Okay. So good. We got the Sims building here, and immediately when we're doing commercial, I'm like, all right. So it's like, lost my keys one day, and then lost. Here I go, talk to you.
A little bit louder, please. If you can get louder.
We got about $150,000 in the Sims pipeline. Let's say gross profit will probably be about 80 to 100. We got the Coco Company at $100,000 for those buildings. We got the Ideal Hairstyle as a commercial gig in the works. It's about $22,000. Me and Daniel knocked this one, Cinco de Mayo. Got a bid from that. We got it off the property manager of a multi-million-dollar company for about $150,000. It should get approved pretty. We're really praying for that one. Our collection can suck a dick after that one. So we got the Big Blue Marble Kindergarten, and they have been partially denied. Partial for picking up a skill for that today. Okay, that's about $50,000. My residential is probably going to be at about $200,000 sales price.
Is that yours or you got the split? Okay. So 400.
I put Daniel's on.
Okay, thank you. So what is that total now in your pipeline right now? That's a big number, guys. That's a big number. I can tell you this: your big producers in this industry, they exceed $1 million. Now I've seen guys do 10 million, and I see guys do anywhere in between that. I believe that Trammell, the way he's tracking right now, work completed, paid out, done. He has the ability to do $2.5 million this year. Trammell, do you know $2.5 million in sales represents in your pocket? Well, take a guess. How much? No. Yeah, I would say $250,000 to $300,000. Yeah, it's a lot of money. So, yeah, the ability to make a lot of money is here. The organization is growing. We've brought in. Because we need growth. Yeah, it's everybody's future, and that's the thing here. The company name. That's everybody's future here. We can all make a ton of money doing this. So with that being said, I want to talk about the long-term vision, and we're still working on this, and nothing is written in stone right now. But we're going to open up a bunch of locations, essentially, and we're going to have all of these little seeds planted all over the country, all of these different hail markets. Okay, and when there's no storms, no major storms, we're going to be working on damage. We're going to be training. We're going to be learning our skills, what have you. And then a storm hits. And let's say that we've got 15 locations. I'm making this up because essentially there's 15 major hail markets. And let's say that next year on May 1st, May 8th, Denver gets blasted with hail. Okay? I'll be there the next morning. Everybody comes to Denver. And we're going to develop, and we're going to have individuals that Aaron's been calling Chase, and the Chase team. So you come out, you do a set, typically a set is 60 for residential. You do 60 houses, and you leave. You go to the next one. You want to stay, you stay. You want to go, there's another one, go.
Roof, gutters, and a handoff to a PMA, right?
Yep. And then
roof, gutters, a handoff to a PMA to build the shit.
Yep. So essentially you get a contract signed, turn it to the branch manager at that branch location, and you're done. You're done with that process. And we're trying to we're figuring it out. Yeah, we're figuring it out. So let's just say it'll be somewhere around there. You should expect at minimum to make $750 a house, all the way up to $1,250 a house. It's going to range somewhere in between there, depending on the size of the house. If it's super big, it'll obviously be more. But we're trying to refine what that actual pay plan is going to look like. I can tell you from my standpoint, and what I just went through this past year, really 2 years. There was very little hail there. It was a goddamn nightmare dealing with the little bit of storm that happened in Colorado Springs. It was a complete shit show. The people that are in Colorado, there's a lot of roofers in Colorado. It's a shit show. But we're going to be able to bounce around from location to location to location as a Chase team. We'll all be operating on the same technology platform. Nothing will change other than your car, your logo, your shirt. That's the only thing that's going to be changing. So I know Daniel Chase Storms. You can make a lot of money doing that, guys. A whole lot of money, and if it's all under the same catastrophe services family, same umbrella. Somebody yesterday at lunch or what Pizza said about marketing. Now you can market yourself. We're not chasers. Yes, I am from out of state. However, Nashcat's been in Tennessee now for 9 years. I happen to work at a Bronco catastrophe in Denver. This is a big storm. The current market, the current roofing, the current market can't handle this. We're here to help, and you're not gonna. You're not gonna have to worry about that. Oh, you're out of state and all of that other bullshit. Our pitch will be strong. They'll be like, wow, this is a real organization. They've got depth. They know how to execute. And you can go in there and literally mop up in 30 days, sell 60 roofs, and go home. So that's fundamentally the idea behind that. Any thoughts?
And that division is called Chase, and you'll still have, your local cat serve office, Nashcat, Cardinal, where people can still manage jobs the same way in the system, do more trades, do OP, do the negotiating. You got the freedom and choice to do this. Or if you want to do this, I think there'll probably be some qualifications, I would assume, But this is another division, another opportunity within our companies.
Yeah, I would say one of the most notable requirements is that you have to be able to sell over $1 million. You got to prove that you're capable of doing it. $1 million again that's indicative of somebody in this business that knows what they're doing. Any questions on that? Sound cool? Not cool? Thoughts? Likes? Dislikes? Okay. Proposed changes. So we're coming up to. We've got 13 minutes left. My alarm's going to go off in a second, and I'll shut that down. I have some proposed changes that I'd like to make. First off, need to focus on what with residential first. Roof and gutters. Okay? Then all other trades are on a case-by-case basis. Okay? out of all the collections that are out, are all of the roof stuff. Yes. Other trades aren't done. Okay? I'm positive that there's very few gutters, and the other trades are other things. I don't want to do interior work anymore. I don't want to do floors. I don't want to do painting. I don't want to do windows unless it's big. It'll be on a case-by-case basis, but we need to focus on what? Roof and gutters.
Painting if there's OP, but yeah, I agree. Do the shit we're good at, turn and burn.
Exactly, turn and burn. And what was your? We said work performed with the change order. And what was the last thing you said? Yes, a change order is designed, in my mind, and it's got all of these other reasons. Document the shit we don't want to do. Okay.
Change order is your most powerful tool to increase your margin. Also.
Exactly, and I promise you, if I see somebody doing a screen, unless it's some 90-year-old lady that doesn't have the ability to go to Ace Hardware or Home Depot or wherever it is, and you feel that you need to do it because there's mosquitoes here and you don't want her to die of malaria, then do the fucking screen, okay?
Jumping Frenchman's disease.
Yeah, thank you. That's another one that you get for mosquitoes. If you've got a traditional family with 2.5 kids, a white picket fence, that motherfucker can go to Home Depot and take care of the screen. Okay? No, we can't.
Ladies and gentlemen, Phil Chavez.
Yeah. So other trades, we're just not doing them. Now, if someday we find a dude that has 2 or 3 young guys working for him, and he's a handyman, and he's proven ourselves to him, then we'll have that discussion. But if we got other trades, I want it to go to one person and one person only. With that being said, we need to stop doing work ourselves. One of the biggest frustrations I had with one of our top sales guys, David, was she kept doing work, physical labor. And I never understood that because here's a guy that was super talented, and every Saturday, every Tuesday, he was doing some project that literally made him virtually no money. I just stop doing the work. We sub it out. We're contractors. We're not laborers. With that being said, now I've got a couple of proposed changes, okay? And when change comes about, everybody gets nervous. Everybody gets uncomfortable. I want you to have an open mind on this. Number one, I've asked Chris to put together a plan on what Chris wants to do because it's clear that Chris doesn't want to do the administrative responsibilities that he's been doing here. Okay? It's clear. He's admitted it. We had a great conversation yesterday. He's putting together a proposal on what that would look like. In that proposal, it's going to be what his job definition is, what he feels would be success, what he feels would be the failure, and what that compensation looks like. I'm waiting to hear back on that. Devin, I would like to ask you if you would be willing to learn how to make phone calls and set appointments right now.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. By the way, that guy sitting right there is the best guy to teach you how to do it. We'll show you. You'll make a.
I have cold call sales history. I used to work for Apple.
Perfect. You will absolutely crush at it, dude. And we'll talk about pay plans and how that'll work on a separate time.
Sounds good.
In the absence of Quentin is becoming, I think everybody enjoys working with Quentin, and I will tell you this, we all have strengths, everyone in this room. And with that being said, we all have weaknesses, okay? Every single one of us. And every single weakness that everyone knows we have, or everybody, or that is being identified as we go through these transitions, I will tell you this, Quentin, with each single one of you has been your biggest fan, okay? The dude loves all of you guys, all right? And that is to a point where I've questioned whether or not Quentin has enough balls to deal with shitty situations sometimes, okay? And he's turned me around, okay? Like, wow, great fucking point, about Gage. I'll use Gage, excuse me. He doesn't know Gage. I don't want to point anybody out. Yeah, Daniel. Yeah, you were a topic. I'm not lying. All right, Quentin loves you guys. phenomenal leader. He's got some leadership opportunities in front of him, and he's doing a great job, but he's not here right now. I would like all you guys as a group, with or without me in the room, I don't care. I would also like to propose that Trammell starts working towards being the branch manager here. There's very specific reasons, and I will tell you what it is. Thank you for pointing to that. It's that right there. And what I don't want to happen is that Trammell is bogged down by truck, by collection, by people not communicating, by process not being followed. All the shit we just talked about earlier, I don't want him to be bogged down on that. There are certain talents that Trammell inherently has. And that's not saying that you as an individual or you individually don't have, but he's jumped on this, and I've seen it the most. I've had a simple conversation with him. He did not expect me to bring this up today. So if he looks a little uncomfortable, it's probably why. Good. But Trammell definitely has some he's jumped on this, and he's jumped on it heavily. He's up me over. Okay. Absolutely. And we don't have to,
just so everybody knows too, Chavez, let's tell everybody what Quentin's doing in a regional spot, because Quentin's doing more.
Yes. Go ahead. It's pretty awesome what he's doing.
So with Quentin, we want Quentin to be almost like the startup setup guy, and that means he'll be over a bunch of branches as we open them. So I think since Nashville's running better, he can focus on the 2 Carolina stores in Oak Ridge and basically the startup and implementation of, we call it breaking the branch. So when you open up a branch, there's a certain number you need to make to break even. So we want him there basically to break these branches so we turn a profit. So he's basically going to be over a lot of stores instead of just Nashville.
Yep, it's a tough job, but he's pretty good at it. I mean, we've seen what he's done here.
That sound about what we talked about? That sounds right?
Yeah, absolutely. I forgot that term, by the way. I'm sorry.
What, breaking a branch? Breaking even?
5 months. I have one last thing I would like to say. I'd like to congratulate Daniel, because tomorrow is going to be 60 days. So that is a huge thing.
And thank you, everybody, while everybody's here, except for Clinton, obviously. Thank you, everybody, for sticking with me, because it's not the easiest thing to do. Yeah. I'm doing good at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love all you guys. You guys are great. I'm coming up on 9 years.
There you go. That's good too. Last thing to congratulate on is, and we'll have it formally documented here shortly, but Gage is going to be the branch manager in Denver for Bronco Cat. So, congratulations. Yeah. We've got 5 minutes. Does anybody want to throw comments, suggestions, likes, dislikes? You can bash on me. I don't. Whatever it is.
Phil, can you show everybody your new watch?
Yes. Hey, dumbass, Rhea knows that joke, by the way. So.
I'm going to be the branch manager here. Keep in mind, that it's only lockdown, but I'm going to always be available to help anybody anytime they want and need me, because that's really, job that I have to make sure everything goes along and not getting caught in the pitfalls of the city. Writing the change orders and all that stuff and data collection and dealing with homeowners who are upset. I feel like I have pretty good interpersonal skills and dealing with people who are pretty angry and being chill around those stuff. I think that's essential to, getting those questions. When someone spent their money, then yeah, we're going to have to probably get those in litigation. But
lean fast.
That's extremely important, and anything I can do to help with that. Whether that be going out to the house or just having a close conversation and you don't feel comfortable having anymore.
Was Gage going to talk about leaning? We're probably running out of time.
What's that?
Was Gage going to talk about leaning?
Kind of briefly touched on it.
Yeah.
Basically, it gets sloppy, man.
Not only do we're leading our customers, or our suppliers are leading our customers, but we also lose our lead rights.
Yeah.
Well, for the people that spent the money and they want to be set up a payment plan for exposure purposes, we have to go put a lien on that house. We're not a bank, so we don't want to be set up as a payment plan. We've got Hearth and other, financing pieces we can use. But the other thing is, if if it's more than 120 days that you worked on the house, go out and take a ridge cap shingle off, put a new one on. I had to repair it, and then that starts your clock ticking for the lien.
Right. Good idea.
Yeah, let's assume our customers are going to pay because their client experience has been fantastic and they're excited to cut that final check to us. But that's not
how it's been. We were in business for 8 years as a roofer and didn't file a claim until our 8th year business. That's true. How about that, man?
Didn't file a lien, you mean?
Yeah, we didn't file a lien until 2018. We never filed a lien. All those first.
You said claim.
File a lien. A little slurring.
Other thoughts, comments? Andrea, Rhea.
I don't know. How about a shout out to the people that are the foundation, and so us two ladies.
There you go. Absolutely.
Well, I think I'll say this. Think about this. I think with Rhea's help, a lot of the PMA work, a lot of the blitzing, a lot of the stuff that's designed to make these jobs flow and for us to be unhandcuffed with the operations and sell more. We nothing against Chris, but we just weren't getting that piece out of him, and that's a big reason. So we really should be able to increase our sales, but our collection should get after it in a big hurry and get these jobs buttoned up faster. But the whole point is you got to feed the machine.
If I may, as Rhea steps into this, and if she's more successful, it's going to leave me to do bigger and better things.
Team guys. And the truth is, we get the excitement, that rush when we get a new contract. They don't. It's more work. Yeah. I mean, it's not. You don't get that buzz like, oh fuck yeah, I just sold that. They don't get to experience that. So. Yeah. All right. We are a minute early. Thank you all. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good stuff. See you. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.